Hello, everybody. This is Jamie the D, the Mad Welshman.
And this is the Salted Grump, also known as Selnar.
I don't know why this beginning is silent. Was it silent for you?
I honestly don't remember. It has been a very long time since I first played Crimson Echoes.
Fair. Anyway, yeah. We're beginning our first event storyline with an ending. Specifically, the ending to the 5 Minutes of Fate.
Where 3 of the 4 carriers at Midway that were attacking ended up getting violently murdered.
Yeah. And the viewpoint here is from Kaga.
Kaga is an interesting character. She's one of the main characters of this event, and she really is exceptionally well written as a result.
Yeah. So this must be that Amagi, right? Because we've never met her before.
Historically, Amagi was never even completed due to a very horrible tragedy that rocked most of Japan, the Kanto earthquake of 1923.
Really?
Yep. Sorry, you go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, I was just saying Amagi's really good at shogi.
Yes, she is very much an exceptional strategist and very much the type of character you definitely do not want to fuck with in that regard. This is also reflected in her in-game stats.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Kaga, this is long before the 5 Minutes of Fate, and Kaga is such a fucking teenager.
She's a hot-headed little brat, and as the joke goes, this is an actual meme that's been recorded on both the Azur Lane Reddit and the official Discord. I reject my carrier conversion, Dio!
Yeah.
Her
Mutsu,
battleship form is... Sorry.
Yeah, her battleship form is pretty good. I was going to say, Mutsu we're not going to see for a long time, or Nagato.
Both of them are absolute shitwreckers, but Mutsu is absolutely fucking adorable, and specifically chosen to be a childish character because of her history, where she was partially financed by donations from school children.
She's adorable.
She really is. It's also an absolute barrage of questions when you get her.
I know! So cute! So, Nagato is the head shrine maiden, the spiritual leader of the Sakura Empire.
She is also a visual pun, for lack of a better term, using the 3 meanings of the word Miko. Holy Maiden, Shrine Maiden, and Wise Fox.
Yep. So, right now, it just seems like a normal exercise, doesn't it?
Well, that's the implication. In this case, the Tosa-class battleships, of which Kaga is the second of, and the Amagi-class battle cruisers are successors to Nagato and Mutsu. They are actually younger than the very petite battleships that are the current leaders of the Sakura Empire.
Also, hello, Yudachi. I see you there.
Fucking toy!
Now, as I recall, she's actually quite a badass in this.
Yudachi is very much a character that is mired in questions and controversy because nobody is actually certain what the fuck she managed to do in her last action during the Second Battle of Guadalcanal. Some people will say that she single-handedly took apart the entire American force that was ended up stumbling almost headlong into the battleships Hiei and Kirishima. And others say that she managed to fire off all of one torpedo spread that got one hit off and then proceeded to take a hit in her engine room and die.
Wow.
What is confirmed is that the morning after the battle, the USS Portland, which had taken a hit to the steering chamber and was basically unable to maneuver for most of the battle, ended up stopping, turning her rifles at Yudachi, because Yudachi was still active with a sail or some people suggested a white flag, and there's still controversy about that as well, to boot. Mm-hmm. But the end result is that Portland executed Yudachi via naval rifle.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a bit of a shambles in regards to the action of that battle, and there's a reason why I call the 5 major naval battles of Guadalcanal a knife fight in a phone booth with the lights shot out.
Yeah, sounds like it. So yeah, this is your bog standard Sakura Empire fight music, which I believe
it's pretty good music. I like it.
Yeah, but I believe this one is in the jukebox, along with the siren music.
Yeah, and the siren music is classic intimidating stuff. It's really evocative of the entire theme.
Yeah, and we're going to be hearing a lot of it, both here and when we get to Fallen Wings.
Fallen Wings actually predates Crimson Echoes, and I honestly like it because it was the first real major event that had the sirens as a proper enemy.
Yeah. Here they sort of are, but they take a backseat to the main story.
And the main story is very much Amagi, Kaga, and Akagi.
Yes. Although we won't be spoiling anything before it happens.
Or at least we'll try not to deliberately do so.
Yes. I don't think I get any new ships during these fights, but it is so nice to see them level up.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the level disparity, you're just crawling through experience in these fights, and your girls are going to get hammered by the end of it, but that's to be expected.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason I'm getting the XP on Warspite as quickly as possible, because she carries the team.
There's a reason why I have described her as essentially a mobile sledgehammer. Fully geared up Warspite is absolutely obscene, and it's only very recently, with the addition of multiple PR girls like Friedrich de Grosse and Champagne, that she has actually been beaten out on her final firepower score.
Yeah. She's scary good, and I'm really glad I got her this early. But yeah, the girls are going to take a beating, because around level 30 is where those levels really start mattering.
Yeah, your girls are averaging about level 25, and as you can see, even your backline is getting pretty heavily punished by the level disparity.
Yeah, at least partly because I have not been paying attention to the planes, not nearly as much as I should have. And this is a carrier-heavy fight. Like, this entire map.
Which is ironic, because at the timeline that this set in, sort of in Ursta's 1923, the only carrier Japan had was Hosho.
Yep, and we will be seeing a mention of that. Also, may I say, I'm so glad that events don't have an ambush feature.
Some of them did.
Yeah. Did. Past tense.
That's right. The developers are very good about player feedback, and honestly, the ambush property, while it's okay-ish in smallish measures, like, say, in a main storyline map, that sort of thing, like, say, World 10, World 12, World 13, it's not okay when you're in an event map and you're basically riding the edge.
Yeah. And I'm going to be riding the edge for a little while. Like, they'll catch up. But it still takes me quite a long time to... This first event was actually close to the wire on getting B3.
Yeah. B3, for those who have not paid much attention to the game mechanics, is almost always the last map on the last stage on the second map of large event stages like this, which means that it's usually got some cool rewards and plot hidden behind it.
Yeah, although there are differences between many of the events. Recently we had one where there was A4 and only B2.
That's correct. The Ink-Stained Steel Sakura, which is essentially, quick count, like Act 4 or 5 of the chain that technically starts with Crimson Echoes. It's just that they were released in anachronic order, as Crimson Echoes is actually, on the Chinese and Japanese servers, the newest of the bunch, even though it's technically the first of the bunch by timeline.
Yeah, the timeline has been fucked all over the place. We will be trying to put it back together, but just assume sirens. Always assume sirens.
Siren bullshittery is an ancient art of driving players nuts. Just look at Jamie.
Well, I'm already squirrely.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the joke.
And besides, I've made this game my bitch in the past 2.5 months.
You have learned from the master.
Yeah, we're to say how far we are behind on commentary and recording. I'm currently at something like day 76.
And Crimson Echoes showed up for Jamie around day 5.
Yep. It was indeed day 5.
So, yeah, I've been playing since, as mentioned, the open beta in August of 2018, pretty much the day the game launched in English. And I have, just about every girl the game actually has, but at the same time, I still don't have all of them at the maximum level cap, because I'm not insane and I don't play the game 24/7.
And I don't play the game 24/7, and I've got quite a few limit broken. I think I'm mostly lucky. I mean,
to a point. To a point.
Getting Yudachi after only 7 hard mode fights in 6-4.
I hate to break it to you, but I got fucking poi in 6-4 on my 3rd normal fight before I even fully cleared the zone.
That's okay. I believe someone else in chat got it on their first try.
They did, and it was worth a good hearty chuckle.
Oh yeah. Look,
there's a reason why I constantly joke about, poi being, fucking poi.
Yeah, I suppose we might as well get that out of the way.
It's a Kantai Collection reference, specifically the fact that the Destroyer Yudachi in Kantai Collection uses the word poi in much the same way a Valley Girl uses like or maybe as, punctuation, for lack of a better term.
Meanwhile...
There are memes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, our Yudachi is... Honestly, she's adorable too.
She very much lives up to her appellation of the Mad Dog of the Solomons.
Yep.
Which is funny because Ayanami got the title of the Demon of the Solomons, and Laffy, who died in the same battle that Yudachi did, got the title the War God of the Solomons. What I'm saying is that the Solomons were an absolute bloodbath and very much bled the Japanese Navy dry of veteran ships and crews.
Oh, there we go. War God of Solomon. How fitting. We were just talking about that.
What can I say? I am oddly prescient at times.
I mean, it has triggered a couple of times already, but whatever.
Well, yeah, it's a 5% proc on fire, so...
Why we gotta beat up Mombo?
Because she is the mom boat of all of the Japanese carriers. Historically, Hosho... Yeah. Of the 3 mom boat carriers, Hermes, Hosho, and Langley, only Hosho survived World War II.
That's because she is Mombo.
No, it's because she was not considered a priority target.
That's because she's Mombo. You aren't winning this one.
Well, I could make you sad with one sentence. She outlived all 11 of her daughters.
Yeah. Who else do we beat up that I really don't like beating up? Oh, yeah, Mutsuki.
Well, to be fair, Mutsuki is... Yeah, she's a marshmallow.
She really is. Oh, hello, Hatakaze.
Kaze is a kamikaze-class destroyer, and yeah, she is a few years older than the rest of the crew. She was built in about 1920, if I recall correctly, and is about the same age as Nagato.
And she's also represented as a better age than the rest of the Kazis.
The joke being that all of the kamikaze-class destroyers are basically lowly grannies.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are. It's very disturbing to see a small grey-haired child go, "Ha ha ha ha! I'm old! I'm a veteran, bitch!"
I believe I commented a bit on Hatakaze in the Ship Girl special for Crimson Echoes, but basically she survived the vast majority of World War II, if I recall correctly. She really did go everywhere, see everything, and get shot at a whole lot.
As a good veteran, well, I'm not going to finish that sentence. Yeah, as a good survivor. There we go. That's a lot better than what I was going to say. Anyway, this is an exercise. We're not actually mullering her.
Yeah,
this is
it's just
a few where we're not actually doing that.
It's the divergence between game mechanics and story.
Magi fighting with more determination than usual. Considering she's already pretty focused, that's kind of scary.
And this is Amagi's excuse, just testing new strategies and gathering insight, even if learning what not to do.
Yep. And, yeah. I've had to splice in some of the story.
Yeah, that happens. Such is life.
Yeah,
So yes, Amagi does have health issues.
Yeah, we're not quite sure what they are.
Well, I know exactly what they are because I'm a history nerd.
Well, fair. But in worlds, we only know roughly what they are.
I saw that, you cheeky bastard.
Oh, I'm gonna be even cheekier.
Yeah, you ground up levels on everyone. And you finished 3-4, which is why you have a sub deployed.
Yep. So this would have been, about the time I kicked Takagi's ass. No, Kiryu's. And Yorktown died, and then I immediately got Yorktown.
And now you have to give Yorktown all the hugs, because she is severely depressed and suffering from PTSD due to witnessing and knowing everything that happened as she sank.
Yeah, not for nothing do we call this, existential trauma.
Yorktown really did get a,
little bits of history repeating. And
it's... Yeah, sorry about that, I'm just rambling at the moment.
No, it's fine. Funnily enough, both existential trauma and little bits of history repeating are going to be happening in this pair of videos.
And speaking of, I see you have U-81 in your submarine fleet, who is an absolute fucking shitwrecker. She is probably the best submarine in the game.
She's pretty good.
Stat-wise, 555 torpedo does not lie.
Yeah. Yeah, give her some acoustics and
basically give it like a maniac. It's like she's slinging pocket nukes.
Yeah. Oh, and also give her oxy-torps. Pure oxy-torps are an accessory rather than a torpedo.
Yeah, so they're an auxiliary unit, so depending on how evil you are, you either want to give a submarine the improved battery, which increases their hunting range, which is well enough if you don't have a massive pile of oil to reposition them, which you actually could not do until late 2019. But the auxiliary of the, oxygen torpedoes, also known as the Rainbow Dildo of Doom, when fully upgraded gives the wielder plus 100 to their torpedo stat and about plus 30 to their reload, making them fire even faster. Needless to say, absolutely stupid.
Yeah. And also suffice to say, there is at least one submarine who basically goes, ha ha ha, oxygen torpedoes, gimme, gimme, gimme.
All of them, really.
Yeah, but one in particular.
Yes, Dace is quite obsessed with torpedoes. She doesn't care what type they are. And hey, Pennsylvania! Yes!
Yeah. She is scary and fucking I love her.
I will post a screenshot in the actual LP thread of Pennsylvania's kill board, which includes stuff like planes, ships, entire fucking islands.
Oh, she is a very scary lady, but she's also protective and lovely, and, you know. And she likes a little bit of drink. Just a little bit.
Yeah, well, considering the fact that, as shown in Chapter 1, Day 1 of this, you basically saw her little sister die in her arms. Yeah, she's got a lot of trauma, and she expresses it by trying to hate islands out of existence.
Mostly successfully.
Very much so. I will have to post the transcription of one of her battle reports, too.
Oh yeah, that one's great.
Yeah. Hey, so, how'd you deal with that fortification? I removed it. The fortification or the island? The island.
Oh, yeah, there's much key.
And that was a Yubari getting splatted.
Yeah, well...
Yubari actually is an interesting cruiser because she was the first experimental light cruiser in Japan, which was basically an attempt to cram as much gun as possible on as small a frame as possible.
Yep. At least it's not Kisaragi we're beating him.
Yeah, Kisaragi, by the way, is actually the second Japanese ship to be sunk in World War II. And the first one was sunk only half an hour beforehand.
Like, when I get her and when I look at her in the dock, I'm not gonna eat you! I'm not! Stop saying that, please!
Yeah, the Mutsuki class destroyers, which are basically named after the months of the year, because there were 12 of the class built, are very much portrayed as preschoolers, right down to the actual school uniforms they wear.
Yeah.
Kitsuragi, as shown on the screen now, is one of the more absolutely fucking adorable ones. But she also gets a retrofit that upgrades her from kindergartner to first grader. There is a reason why we try to keep Arc Royal away from everyone.
That and the fact that she's really scared. We just want to head pat her.
Yeah, there has been some fan art showing the, child-sized characters actually growing up and basically having a civilian life outside of being ship girls, which is kind of nice, but it's very rarely seen, which is, it's something.
Yeah. God, which is the sweet obsessed one?
That would be Mutsuki.
Yeah. By the way, some of the Kisaragi class, you cannot get them until much later in the game.
Yeah, or through events that Jamie has not managed to get to.
Yeah. I mean, we had it still... ISSS. I'm just gonna say that rather than mangle it.
Ink-stained steel Sakura.
Thank you. Yeah, we had that recently, and we're going to be getting a brand new event. Probably a week or two after we've recorded this.
Yeah, it's apparently slated for the start of the second anniversary celebrations, if I recall correctly, which will be August 16th.
Well, there we go. Yeah, that will be around 2 weeks. Less
And these ships on the loading screen we haven't met yet, but they are Chinese light cruisers that were made by Japan, and then proceeded to get promptly sunk by Japan, re-raised by Japan, and promptly used by Japan until they got sunk by America.
Yeah.
I think I have shit lives.
They do, but as characters, they're good. Like nearly every ship girl has had a shit life.
Well, that's the sad thing, really. When it comes to a ship, there's really only 3 endpoints. There's sinking, scrapping, or scuttling.
Yeah.
And 2 of those are incredibly violent, with the third one being essentially a betrayal of the pact between ship and crew, that the ship protects the crew and the crew protects the ship.
Yeah. It is at this point, I believe, that we should mention the reason Crimson Echoes came into existence.
Yes. So, a while back, the lead director of Kantai Collection and one of the higher-ups in DMM Incorporated, which is a subsidiary of Katakawa Incorporated, which is one of the biggest media conglomerates in Japan. But this fellow, by the name of Shigetaka Kurita, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, I'm probably not, someone called me out on that shit a while back, said that Azur Lane is an idle action game with the ship girl motif, and that one may cry while playing Kantai Collection, but never while playing Azur Lane. This, Crimson Echoes, is Azur Lane's response, and it is very much a most eloquent middle finger upraised and smeared all over his face.
Pretty much. Meanwhile, there has been only one time I have cried at Kantai Collection. You don't know what that is, Grump?
Logging in, because of the fact that you need a VPN, you need to set your computer to Japanese language, set your computer to Japanese time zone, and you can get kicked off and permabanned at any time?
No.
Or was it the time that you had a ship sink and realized that it's permadeath in Kantai Collection, and it takes an average of 10,000 of each resource to get even Congo, who is, well, a battle cruiser, not a fast battleship.
No, keep in mind, I wouldn't touch Hand-Eye Collection the game with a 50-foot barge pole.
Oh, you watched the anime, that's even worse. Sucks for you.
Yeah, I cried tears of boredom going, all this end, why did you waste your animation skills?
The Kantai Collection anime is what happens when you have 3 fucking idiots as creative directors all pulling in cross directions.
Even the fight scenes are the most boring things in existence.
Yes, I know. Let us have the enemy be this existential threat. Let us have them stand there like spare pricks and get shot at.
Hell, even... There's no movement.
I know. I've seen it.
Yeah. Anyway, this is Naka. That was Naka.
Naka is the youngest of the 3 Sendai-class light cruisers, and she also suffered from a similar injury to Amagi historically, in that the first Naka was under construction during the 1923 Kanto earthquake, and ended up being completely destroyed by fires. And after the fires were finally contained and such, the hull was so badly damaged that the shipyard basically scrapped her on the site and built another one with the same name.
Amagi is sister to Akagi and Kaga, and... Oh, there it is again.
Small impact. Incurable cough of death.
Yeah, yeah, she feels she might have spoiled Akagi, and for what happens after all this, I'm inclined to agree.
Well, kind of, but at the same time, it's very well shown that Amagi only had Akagi's best interests at heart, and the result of what happens with Akagi in the main story, all that sort of stuff, is very much... It's up for debate on just how twisted it is, but the end result is that, well, yeah, it's just things that I can't really fully articulate at the moment, because I'm stumbling over my fucking words. Back to Dawn of the Sixth Day, huh, Jamie?
Yeah! I don't know why that happened.
You're gonna have to fix that.
Nah. The weird editing, the weird technical difficulties are a part of the... Oh, hello!
So, this is very much Akagi and Kaga being Akagi and Kaga when they're hot-headed teenagers. This was also before Akagi-chan was created for Children's Day 2019, so you get full-size Akagi instead of little annoying shit Akagi. By the way, if you have not read the Akagi Squared comic being created by Ethan Forsyth, you really should, because it's fucking hilarious.
It's great.
And yeah, the insults are actually really solid.
Oh yeah. Oh, wait.
That scene right there is Amagi perfectly. Just force them to be nice, god damn it.
Yeah, and this is exactly why I picked it to be the Splash.
Needless to say, Amagi is a standout character because she is kind, she is gentle, she is caring, she is loving, and she will absolutely rip the ever-loving shit out of someone who does not live up to her standards.
She is very much the sister who will bang your heads together if you don't stop fighting, as she did.
Well, the implication is she basically did the classic judo chop to the forehead.
Yeah. And what lovely eggs those are.
So yeah, there's a reason why Amagi is incredibly memorable, and that's one of the earliest shown reasons why. She is definitely a character that is, well, for lack of a better term, she is just absolutely fucking endearing.
Yeah. Yeah, she is pretty well written. We'll be getting back to Suryu and Hiryu at some point in the LP.
It still amuses me to no end that the two carriers named after dragons are rabbits.
Have you never heard of bunny dragons?
I have not. Though once the Solomon Ranger rerun pops up, you'll probably be able to get Ryujo, who's the prancing dragon, and actually is basically a common rider dragon.
Yeah, I look forward to that because I've got Ryujo on main, and I like it. Oh, hello. I think I recognized.
Yep, that would be the Takeo class heavy cruiser Chokai, 4th of the class.
Chokai plays a fun part in Artigo's storyline. Not as fun a part as Maya, but...
Well, I mean, the running joke about Maya is that she's adopted because she looks so different from her sisters, but that's because her 3rd turret out of 5 was removed and replaced with a heavy anti-aircraft emplacement, making her better at anti-aircraft duties over the course of the war.
Funnily enough, I believe that fights with Chokai are actually nastier for me health-wise.
I'm not surprised seeing all the glow bulbs of death.
Yeah. I mean, you can see that Kraven's taken a huge beating.
To be fair, it's Kraven. She's a destroyer with, what, 1200 health?
Funnily enough, she's still serving the line really well to the present day.
Yeah, for good reason. I mean, I've mentioned this before in the thread, but the game goes to great pains to make sure that all of the girls are viable, even if they're not optimized.
Yeah. And this will last right up until you hit challenge mode.
And challenge mode is mostly just bragging rights.
Also shinies.
Yep, mostly bragging rights. If you get 8,000 points, you also get shiny.
Is it only 1,000?
8,000.
Oh, 8,000. Yeah, beating all 4 rounds.
No, you don't even have to beat all 4 rounds. You just have to cause enough damage and take a little damage that you get bonus points.
Oh, well, I definitely didn't do that on main this week.
Well, I mean, so far I actually missed the first 2 challenge mode rounds, actually, because I was just so distracted at work that I wasn't really focusing on it, and I didn't have the damage output needed to get the points required anyway.
Yeah, the first one... I did the first one today, and to be fair, I did beat Laffy.
Yeah, and then everyone else stomped all over you.
Well, they haven't yet, because I retreated. After all, the next one was Z23, and the 3rd is Iron Army.
Yeah, when the starter squad stomps a mudhole in your ass, you know it's a bad day.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think all of my subs are already dead.
Well, that's to be expected. Challenge mode is called that for a reason. The developers are not going to make it easy on you.
No, they really don't. It's actually enjoyable if you can spare the fuel.
I mean, because it's challenge mode, it's actually free on the fuel cost.
Oh. In which case it's just plain fun. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's very much experimenting with fleet composition and leveling differentials, trying to figure out what works best for what sort of fight, you know? And then the game throws Essex at you in her one-punch mode, and you go, oh fuck.
Yep. Yeah, I've been there on challenge mode.
I mean, the recent mini-event, Flight Drills with Essex, if you did that and you tapped on the title 10 times, you could actually fight her in her pre-nerfed format.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
I told you about it when it happened!
Forgot.
Yes, I know. That's because your best friends are Alzenheimer.
Oi!
Hey, I'm no better.
Anyway.
But yes,
we'll be using this splash for the second one.
For good reason. It's also been used as a very good, well, for lack of a better term, it's a very good splash for a music video that will also be heard in this.
Well, the video won't be seen, although we will link it, and technically we already have.
The music, however, we'll definitely be hearing, because, well, it's the final boss fight music.
Yeah, and anytime there is unique boss music in an event, I am generally pretty good about just letting the text go by and, well, holding the text so we can hear the music.
Well, as a secret spoiler, just to let you know, because of the archive system in the game, as long as you have unlocked that scene, you can always go back to it and listen to the music again.
Oh, I know. In fact, that's exactly how I got the music this time around.
Well, I have to admit, it's some damn good music, and it's probably the first piece of music in Azur Lane that made me realize that just how much of the budget in mobile games goes to the music. Because the gameplay can only be so complex for use on a phone, because you really only have your thumbs to control things. The graphics can only be so complex without overheating the phone's CPU, all that sort of stuff. And when it comes down to it, the draw has to be more than just, well, as I joked, cute battleship girls doing cute battleship things. So, it comes to the music. And in that regard, a big chunk of the music in Azur Lane really is some of the best music in any mobile game, honestly. A good example of an event that Jamie missed is in the Northern Overture, which has incredibly oppressive and dark music for its duration.
Well, I didn't miss it on main, I just missed it on the LP, and I'm sure it'll rerun.
Well, yeah, it's only had one go so far, so its rerun will come back with probably more Soviets to annoy you.
Yeah. Oh, as it is, I'm forever salty that I don't have Toaster on LP save.
I'd make smug noises at you, but I've gone through Crimson Echoes twice because I'm an old man.
Yeah. And as you implied, they generally are pretty good about introducing new ships.
Yeah, I mean, probably the biggest divergence between old and new in regards to just general quality of life was the Ink-Stained Steel rerun, because it went from 9 ships originally to 12 ships. So someone jumping in on the rerun is just going to get smacked with, you have to collect an even dozen, and just go, oh god, what?
Did it.
Well, yeah, so did I, because I'm awesome like that.
And funnily enough, that is the Northern Parliament.
Yep, the fun thing, of course, is Tashkent, who is on the far left there. She is actually Italian made. So she's a spaghetti wearing a fur coat.
Of them all, I love Aurora the most.
Well, Aurora has been around for the longest. She was actually the very first Russian ship in the game, and she's been around since the original Chinese launch.
Now, technically, she's kind of a kamikaze deal. The big confrontation.
And the Jogi reference.
Yeah. Oh. Kaga, you're just playing yourself.
She is incredibly confident, and she's not wrong in that confidence. It's just that against a full fleet of absolute ass kickers that are multiple levels above her, she's gonna get her ass kicked.
Or, story-wise, she's up against Amagi.
And Amagi is faster and has the same number of gun.
Now, I actually really like this boss fight. Like, look at those artillery patterns. You can dodge them.
Yep, it's just very much a case of say hello to being my bullet hose target.
Yeah, like... It wasn't in this fight, but in another, I managed to get through without getting hit by a single artillery strike.
I mean, I would call that an achievement, but honestly... Oh, hello, Terror!
Yay!
Yes, the Frankenloli, as she is nicknamed, is a monitor. She is an Erebus class, so she's a good one. She has a sad story, though. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Yeah, monitors, by the way, yes.
Jamie.
I know. Anyway, yes. Monitors are basically, cruisers with battleship guns on?
Basically, yeah. They took the smallest hull possible, the cheapest engine possible, and the biggest fucking gun possible, and said, your job is to now turn those shore targets into craters!
And, to be fair, Terra, Erebus, and Abercrombie, all monitors, form a vital part of a certain project of mine.
Yes, your project of Team Fuck Your Wave.
Yep. Also, Team... Can we slow down the game with enough projectiles?
Maybe your computer, but not the game. It's pretty stable. It's pretty stable.
I know. But it will be fun to fill the entire screen with projectiles.
Oh god, you haven't seen Friedrich de Grosse then.
Not yet. I will. So, exercise over. They did.
No significant differences. Cough, Warspite. Bite.
Now, we both know it's not canon, because I did a lot of the anti-Sakura campaigns with Sakura backliners.
And yeah, that's fair.
Poor Nagata.
Yep. I mean, she's basically, well... She's essentially a 9-year-old that's stuck in the position of not only spiritual leader of the entire Sakura Empire, but also the flagship of their entire military.
Yeah.
as a result of that, the events of Ink-Stained Steel Sakura are very much a matter of essentially dragging her out of seclusion due to essentially the shock and grief of being misled into declaring war in the first place.
Yep.
Some people would in fact argue that Nagato is very much representative of Emperor Hirohito in Japan's time during World War II, where the who was it? Tojo, I believe. Tojo. Yeah. Well, either way, the military, the Imperial Japanese Army and Navy, were essentially controlling Japan's parliament and domestic decisions at the time, and Hirohito was nothing more than a figurehead. So when he declared war, it was under the pressure of military.
Grump. The one historical bit of this. Treaty.
Ah, yes, the Washington Naval Treaty. God damn it.
Thank you.
We will yell about this in the thread. It is a very important and stressful thing that happened in world history.
Yeah. They explain the general terms in Nagato's speech, but in Shipgirl terms, yeah.
Now, some people who are dark jackasses would say that the definition of scrapping a ship girl is to turn her out into spare parts, including vital organs and squidgy things.
No.
My interpretation is it's just removing the rigging and scrapping the rigging and leaving the girl to have a peaceful civilian life.
Yeah, and this is, funnily enough, implied later on. So I support that, but still, scrapping is... like, most of them don't want to be scrapped.
For good reason. It's very much a existential threat of what they are. If all they have known is being a warship, being scrapped essentially means a complete cessation of all they have known.
So, we're almost done with the video. Kaga's run away like, you know, a teenager.
Well, yeah, she is a teenager. And this is actually accurate. Japan used the metric measurement for all of their weapons, so their 41 centimeter cannons would be 16.1 inch, according to a USN or Royal Navy measurement.
And this is the other thing about this part of the plot. The Sirens picked the area where they were just doing the Sakura exercises to create a mirror sea.
Yeah, the Sirens are kind of jackasses like that, really. They just do their absolute utmost to basically say, oh, you think you're safe here?
And since we haven't gotten into mirror seas, well, what is a mirror sea?
The mirror sea is a siren-created singularity, essentially. For lack of a better term, it is an area that is locked off from outside influence, and you have to enter the mirror sea to directly encounter what is going on within it. It can be dismissed by essentially splatting the boss of the sirens within the area, which is hard enough as is because they start at purifier level and go up from there.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other alternative is letting the singularity collapse, which is a very bad idea as shown in the Winter's Crown event.
Which we will be doing. Mambo.
Again, 1923, Hosho had just been completed and just finished her working up trials, essentially.
Yeah. She learns quickly, though, in this plot.
Well, yeah, she's a smart cookie, and the entire reason that Hosho existed was to basically, well, proof of concept of naval aviation and all that. And the proof of concept did a real damn good job considering what happened only a few years later.
Mm. Now this is actually pretty poignant. Because this really did change shit.
Yep. The end of the era of the big gun warship and the ascendancy of this aircraft carrier.
So, we're hunting down a teenager who's wandered into a very bad part of town.
Essentially the bear-infested woods.
Yeah.
Only the bears have guns.
Lots of guns.
Yep, and torpedoes.
So, yeah, this is where we're probably going to end things. Yes. So, I'm Jamie the D.
I'm Salt Grump.
And we shall see you for the next part. The hunt for cargo.
Don't worry, it should be an interesting hunt.
Isn't that just?
Well, Chinese sense of interesting times, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh shit.
Jamie.
I know! This is Jamie the D.
Being a dork.
That's Salted Grump.
Also being a dork.
And we will definitely see you next time.
God damn it, Jamie.
I know! Bye-bye.
Take care for now.